Hello and welcome. You know, the AI headlines are absolutely everywhere these days. But behind all that hype, there's a massive, fascinating business story unfolding. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain. We're going to look at the business of AI, who's building it, who's selling it, and most importantly, where the real money is actually being made. Okay, to really get a sense of just how big this is, let's start with a number. $22.3 trillion. Yeah, that's trillion with a T. According to the International Data Corporation, that's what they're projecting for the cumulative economic impact of AI by 2030. So you can see this isn't just some new product, it's a fundamental rewiring of the entire global economy. And really, the best way to think about this massive shift is to see it as a modern-day gold rush. You've got everyone from tiny startups in a garage to the biggest companies on the planet, all racing to stake their claim and find their fortune in this brand new digital frontier. Now, just like any gold rush, you can't just run out into the wilderness and hope you get lucky, right? You need a map. And for us, that map is what we're calling the AI value chain. It's going to show us exactly how this new economy is structured. So here's our map. It's a simple three-layer stack. At the very bottom, you've got the enablers. Think of them as the folks selling the picks and shovels. Then, in the middle are the intelligence providers. These are the foundries actually creating the AI. And all the way at the top, you have the applications. That's where AI gets put to use in the real world. So let's start right at the very foundation, layer one, the companies that are building the essential tools for this entire revolution. The enablers are all about raw muscle. We're talking about those specialized computer chips, the crazy high-speed networking gear, and the absolutely massive data centers. You know, investing here is exactly like selling picks and shovels during the California gold rush. It doesn't really matter which individual miner strikes it rich, because the people selling the tools, they win no matter what. And the scale of this whole build-out, it's truly hard to wrap your head around. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, he just put it perfectly. He said, "We're fundamentally creating a new class of data center, which we call AI factories." So think about that. These aren't just server rooms anymore. They're industrial-scale facilities designed for one single purpose: to mass-produce intelligence. So who are the kings of this layer? Well, first and foremost, there's NVIDIA. They are the undisputed dominant force with a mind-boggling 80+% of the market for AI chips. Then you've got AMD, their main challenger. Broadcom is a beast in custom chips and networking gear. And then there's TSMC. They're literally the world's foundry. They're the ones physically making these super advanced chips for pretty much everyone else. Okay, so let's move up the stack. Now we get to the companies that take all that raw hardware and actually turn it into intelligence. So, welcome to layer two, the intelligence foundries.
This layer is basically an oligopoly, and it's dominated by the names you already know and probably use every day: Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. What they do is they take those powerful chips from layer one and they build these enormous cloud platforms. They've become the AI foundries, offering AI as a service and giving developers the tools and the models they need to build their own applications.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because you see this clear split in strategy. On one side, you have Microsoft going all in with its exclusive partner, OpenAI. They're pushing these copilots into every single piece of their software empire. But then on the other side, you've got Amazon and Google. They're playing the open marketplace card, trying to be a neutral platform where you can get a wide variety of AI models from anyone. These are two totally different bets on how to win the future of the enterprise. And that brings us all the way to the top of our map, the application layer. This is the spot where the promise of AI finally actually meets the real world and starts creating value for businesses and for you and me. So, if layer one was the tool makers, you can think of this layer as the wild, chaotic boomtown. It is a sprawling, hyper-competitive landscape. You've got thousands of software companies all racing to use AI to solve very specific problems, like improving cybersecurity, or automating customer service, or even designing new drugs. This is where individual fortunes are absolutely going to be made and lost. And the prize they're all chasing? Well, it is enormous. According to McKinsey, the value that could be unlocked by all these AI applications is an estimated $4.4 trillion in annual productivity gains. I mean, that's the gold at the end of the rainbow. But, and this is a huge but, there's a big catch. There's this giant gap between the promise and the current reality. The promise is,
yeah, we'll automate all this complex work and unlock trillions. But the reality? Well, a recent MIT study found that a stunning 95% of AI pilot programs failed to deliver any measurable improvement. In fact, they often just create more low-quality AI-generated work, a problem people are now calling work slop.
So, given this whole dynamic, where is the economic value ultimately going to land? Well, to figure that out, we just need to follow the money. You know, history actually gives us a really useful pattern here. Think back to the dot-com boom of the late 90s. The early winners were the infrastructure companies, like Cisco, the ones building the plumbing of the internet. But over time, the vast majority of the value migrated up the stack to the application companies, like Google, that use that plumbing to create incredible new services. And this timeline here shows a journey we can probably expect for AI value over the next decade. Right now, we are smack in the middle of phase one. A huge amount of value is being captured by those picks and shovels infrastructure players, especially NVIDIA. Next, we expect it to move to the foundries, the big cloud platforms. But the ultimate long-term prize? That's likely going to the application companies that finally figure out how to deliver a real, tangible return on investment.
But remember, this whole gold rush is not without its dangers. I mean, valuations are sky high right now. Are we in a bubble? And what happens if that ROI problem, that work slop, never really gets solved? Then there's the fact that the entire chip supply chain depends on Taiwan, which is a major geopolitical hotspot. And there are real physical limits. Like, can we even generate enough electricity and find enough water to cool all these new AI factories?
So there is no doubt about it. The AI gold rush is on. The map is laid out, all the players are making their big moves, and trillions of dollars are on the line. But the ultimate question? It's still completely unanswered. Is this going to create a new era of lasting, widespread economic value for everyone, or is it just a massive speculative bubble that's waiting to pop?